the fate.
This is the way. Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Tells me you're from Memphis.
Hello, critics, non-critics, and friends. Welcome to the Film Optix podcast, brought to you by the Drive-In Podcast Network, where we discuss film, TV, and all things Hollywood here on the show. I'm your host, Christian, joined by my co-host, aka my trusty elf, and we're here today to give our thoughts on the latest miniseries to hit Disney Plus. That is Hawkeye episode 6, the series, or the season finale, I should say, titled "So This Is Christmas?" ? And before we begin today's show, you can listen to our podcast on platforms around the internet. If you are a new or seasoned listener to the show, we'd love to hear from you guys. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Film Optix. That is Optix with an X. Devin, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th time's the charm. How you been?
Yeah, so far so good. Let's see if we can get through this one.
Hopefully, man. I don't know what's going on with the web today, but hey, I mean, remote podcasting, gotta love the technical issues that come out with that. But how's your week been?
It's been a pretty decent week. I've had it off, so I've just been doing nothing, basically, just hanging out, playing games, watching some Matrix.
I was just about to ask you. But yeah, as we said in our other recording that people will never hear, COVID, it's kind of affecting people's holidays yet again, which is kind of unfortunate to be.
Yeah, we thought we just had one COVID Christmas and then we'd be back to normal. No, not even at all.
Not at all. It really, really sucks. I mean, a lot of people this year were kind of hoping to, climb out of their shells and kind of reconnect with family. I know a lot of people were traveling back and forth for Thanksgiving and whatnot, and for other holidays in between. But it looks like during the Christmas season, it doesn't look too crazy. Unfortunately for me, I'm not able to spend time with my family this year due to just COVID concerns, and the numbers are rising up. So get vaccinated, folks, and get boosted.
I got the boosty last week, and I had no side effects, just a sore arm. Yeah,
same here. Actually, I got the boosty last week, and pretty much sore arm. I know different people react to it differently, but when I got my second COVID shot, that was way more taxing. But hey, it's all for the protection of your body, and it's about taking care of yourself and protecting others as well. So it's a very it's pretty serious. So we kind of here at Film Optix, we hope that everyone's out there is being safe and trying to spend time with the family that they have during the holiday season, and hopefully people out there are getting vaccinated. Like on the daily, we're trying to get rid of this conundrum that's happened. It's very it's bothering. Like we want to go back to some normalcy. So get vaccinated and get boosted. So, man, oh man, Devin, we're finally here. We're finally here talking about this. It's been technically 5 weeks of us talking about Hawkeye, and each week has been it's been crazy. People have been coming up with a few theories here and there, but the season finale is finally here. It has a runtime of about a little bit over an hour. I think an hour and 1 minute.
Did not feel like an hour.
No, it did not. It kind of went by like super fast, and I'm not sure if it's just because we are so conditioned and used to these longer shows. I mean, I've been watching The Witcher season 2, and those are literally like an hour long. The same thing with Wheel of Time I've been watching on Amazon, and it's like an hour just flies by. Like, what is time anymore? So it's some crazy stuff here. But man, oh man, this week's episode, it tied up a lot of loose ends, and we're definitely going to be talking about it here coming up here soon. But yeah, it's been pretty exciting. It's another Disney Plus show come and gone. And with Spider-Man coming out, I'm sure a lot of people have been watching that. That's kind of like the big thing to watch this holiday season. And we got a release date for was it Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, May 6th, 3 days before my birthday. So that'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, I'll have something to look forward to that day. So Devin, are you ready to get into our season finale, episode 6 of Hawkeye.
Let's do it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be right back with our Hawkeye episode 6 review right after this short break.
Can I tell you a secret? I'm working with an Avenger.
Can I speak to your manager?
Didn't realize you were supposed to bring guns.
All right, and we are back with our Hawkeye episode 6 review titled, "So This Is Christmas?" ? And of course, the creators of the show, Jonathan Igla and Rhys Thomas, closing out this phenomenal series and starring Jeremy Renner, Hailee Steinfeld, Tony Dalton, and a few more. It's been a crazy ride here, man. And I gotta say, I've been enjoying it every since the way. I'm not sure if it's the holiday spirit, but right now on Rotten Tomatoes, since episode 6 has dropped, average tomato meter for critics 91%, average audience score 90%. So I think
Pretty consistent.
I think we have a balance in the force here, Devin. This is very this is amazing. This is cause for celebration. I'm very excited. So, Devin, give me your initial thoughts on Hawkeye episode 6.
I thought it was a decent finale. Definitely didn't blow me away in any way. Definitely nothing shocking or no crazy reveals like some other shows, but it got done what it needed to get done. It just kind of got the job done. It was entertaining throughout. Like we said, it did not feel like an hour, even though it was, which is a good thing, which means we were entertained thoroughly throughout. There's definitely some issues with it. Definitely some things I really liked, some things that I felt were kind of rushed that we'll get into, but overall, a solid finale. Not the best, but also not the worst.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you there, man. I really did enjoy it. I kind of had to watch it in like 2 parts today, early this morning and then a little bit during my lunch break. But it's the only thing that I didn't like, and it's not the show itself. It's the fact that Disney keeps dropping these at like 12 p.m. 12 a.m. Pacific time. And it's like, that's like 3 a.m. Eastern. And it's like, honestly, by the time that you wake up, everything's already spoiled. If you go online, everything's already spoiled. An easy way to get around that, obviously, is to kind of steer clear of social media until you have seen that episode, if it means that much to you.
Yeah, for all these Disney Plus shows, I've just been, you wake up, you put it on. Like, don't go to Twitter. You just gotta wake up. Even no matter how tired you are, you just got to power through it.
Yeah, literally. That's pretty much what I've been doing all year, essentially, with WandaVision, Loki, Hawkeye, with Falcon Winter Soldier, and What If. So it's been, they've kind of yet again conditioned us to just watch it kind of like as soon as you wake up, because you want to get through your day. There is like a new episode out there. There are times I wish they kind of would go the HBO route, like I said, for the Game of Thrones, Sopranos, like those Sunday night shows, or even for like His Dark Materials, that was premiering on a Monday night. It like, that was the time, they dropped like, they drop, later on in the day, people are home, they're kind of done they're running their errands and stuff for the day. They're kind of chilling, just hanging out with friends and family, doing whatever, watching some football earlier in the day. And then, you got this thing, where everyone's able to tune into. But granted, Hawkeye isn't The Sopranos or, The Wire or Game of Thrones or anything. And I do understand that, there are multiple time zones out there. They're not just catering here to us in the States, but to the entire world. So it's very it's kind of hard to figure out a good time. But man, sometimes I'm like, can you just like drop it after work so I have like some time to do something? I don't know, but it is what it is. But my original my thoughts on the series finale, like I said, I did enjoy it. It's just such a fun adventure. It's a very grounded story. There's not a lot of laser beams shooting out and, superhuman strength, well, besides one guy. But it's a very heartfelt story. And it had some nice, like really nice emotional moments. Now, granted, we've been through the emotional wreck that is Spider-Man No Way Home. So like, it's going to be very hard to top the emotional endurance that you have to sit through Spider-Man No Way Home versus Hawkeye. I've seen it twice already, and I shed tears every single time. It's amazing. But with the emotional pull in Hawkeye, it is happening around Christmas, and it's about Hawkeye getting back to his family by Christmas. But there are a lot of serious moments here, and I think certain events that happen in this show or in this episode are definitely going to pay off down the road. So it's been a fun ride for sure. But
it was a very like concise story. Like it knew what it wanted to get done, and it got it done. There's some fluff here and there that didn't feel very necessary, but other than that, it knew what it was trying to be. Right,
and that is what I love about it. It knows what it is. It's not trying to be anything else. It's not trying to be Daredevil. It's not trying to be Jessica Jones. It's not trying to be Iron Fist or anything like that. So it is just trying to be its own contained Christmas adventure, which is exactly what we got. And, we got some really nice moments between Hawkeye and Hawkeye or Hawkeye and Kate Bishop, I should say, or
Hawk Lady,
Lady Hawk, Hawkette. But yeah, it's been a great ride, despite its small little flaws. I've been seeing around on Twitter that some people kind of wish it was a little bit longer. And I do agree. It is a very interesting method to use the 6 episode mark. Obviously with WandaVision, we got a little bit more fleshed out, but then, some people were saying, especially Devin involved, saying that, the first 3 episodes of WandaVision weren't necessarily needed, but like someone like me who loves the sitcom, like the theme and the atmosphere, I absolutely loved it. So it's kind of like, would Hawkeye have benefited from like another extra 2 episodes? It's making like 8 episodes altogether, because it's like, okay, if you make it 8 episodes, that's great. But then you might have a lot of people out there saying, oh, well, episode like 5 and like episode 3 or whatever are just like filler, so you don't really need them. So it's really hard to kind of gauge what to do when it comes to these shows. But I think Hawkeye could have benefited from like maybe 1 more episode, maybe not 8. Because like we said, it got everything it needed to get done. There's not a lot there. Cannot talk today, y'all. There's a lot of nice twists and turns in this episode. But Devin, is there anything else you wanted to mention before we get into our spoiler section?
Time to get the spoilies.
All right, bro. The bros are back. Devin, the bros.
We did get a few more bros this episode. They were gone for a while, but they came back strong.
Yes, that's what I like to hear. The bros are back and stronger than ever. We are victorious. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is your first spoiler warning for Hawkeye episode 6. Again, that is your second spoiler warning for Hawkeye episode 6. So if you're still here, what are you doing? Go watch the episode, come back, and then enjoy the rest of our conversation. So Kingpin finally comes up in this episode. After the semi-cool-esque reveal. I mean, I don't know what that reveal was, to be completely honest. But, he's here. I think he came back from vacation. He looks very
floral.
Very floral, very, very festive. And that
look comes straight from the comics, apparently. I saw somebody post a panel of the exact same Hawaiian red shirt and white suit.
Yeah, he's fighting Spider-Man, I believe. Yeah. So that was very, I saw a few people out there. They were looking at Florence Pugh's Twitter, and she put like a little web next to like one of her tweets. and someone's like, "Oh my gosh, Spider-Man," and I was like, "Bro, no." There's no way they're
Black
going
Widow
to overshadow.
is a spider.
Yeah, Black Widow's a spider. It's not that deep, and there's no way they're going to overshadow Hawkeye by putting Spider-Man in when he literally just has his own movie that's playing in theaters right now, as of this recording. So I was like, no. Like, it would have been cool, but it's no. This is a story about Kate Bishop and Hawkeye. So, but yeah, we got Vincent D'Onofrio coming back as Kingpin. Honestly, it's like he never left. He's got I love it how he has like the big burly coat on, and then underneath he still has like his suits. So he looks like this giant pimp because he actually has his cane as well, which is what I really, really liked about it. But I thought it was pretty cool. A lot of people online.
I think as far as Kingpin goes, as far as like in this episode, it felt kind of rushed to me because they have the fight between him and Kate, and then Echo just kind of confronts him right away. Mm-hmm. We don't really get any build up to that, and then we hear a gunshot, but obviously
he's not dead. There's no way. No. Like you don't just kill Kingpin.
After one episode.
No, not even that. It's just that like if Kingpin would have died like right then and there, that would have been very underwhelming. There is no way that Kingpin is dead. Number one, we did not see a body at all.
And that's what I think makes that scene kind of underwhelming. It's just like we rush into that, so it's like nobody's afraid that he's actually dead. Like there's no stakes there. Yeah, like he's not. I mean, obviously he's not. Like, what's the point of? I think they should have ended it without the gunshot because it's like that didn't really add anything to it.
Right, and I mean, Kate literally like plucks an arrow straight into his chest, and he just rips it out like it's nothing. I was like, oh, this ogre has a lot of layers.
Yes.
Layers, donkey. But yeah, I do agree. It did feel a bit rushed at times. And that's going back to, what this show would have benefited from, like another episode or two. I'm not entirely sure. Well, maybe I think at least one more. Or maybe we should have had I kind of wish we would have had an entire episode of just Kingpin, or like kind of like what happened. That would have
been nice to like bring him back into the fold and just see like maybe his perspective on a few things, because we don't really know what he's thinking for the most part. We don't know what his motivations are really.
Right. And much like, with Loki, we got an entire episode of just both, Lady Loki and our Loki kind of just chatting it up and kind of getting to know each other. And, we kind of talked about, some people think it's filler, some people think it's not. We're definitely in the camp of it not being filler, but I think the show kind of benefited from something like that for sure. But, the LARPers are back better than ever. We finally get the new Hawkeye suit as well. One thing I would say, they didn't really touch too much on, it's been a while since they've touched on Clint's my gosh, his hearing aid. I guess they kind of just let that one like whisk away. But Maya kind of she confronts, but obviously she is getting her own show. They announced that during Disney Plus Day this year, 2021. So I definitely think which
is very exciting. I mean, going like when we first heard the announcement, it's like, all right, we don't really know who this character is, but then you see this, and then you see a certain character show up elsewhere, and then you see Kingpin, and you're like, you start to see the pieces get put together there.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't want to say anything from Spider-Man No Way Home, so I'll just not, because I don't know who's seen it and who hasn't. But it definitely, I think with Echo, moving forward, hopefully we get like maybe like they'll introduce Daredevil there. I'm not entirely sure. But I think that'll be pretty cool, because those two characters are tied together. So I think that'll be a nice little way to introduce some old faces for sure. But yeah, I mean, overall, like we say, we get more of the tracksuit bros, and Maya confronts the interpreter as well. But I do agree. Ozzy, yeah, it did feel a bit rushed. I mean, there was a lot going on, and we haven't even talked about Yelena yet, and her with Kate, which I absolutely loved, by the way. But there was a lot going on, but it was very easy to follow what was happening, especially with Kate's mom. And, us finding out, she's the one who killed Armand Senior, excuse me, rest in peace. So there's that.
It does feel kind of anticlimactic that it just came down to her dad was in debt.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there's more to it than that. Like,
I agree there. Like we said last week, it seemed that Jack was like the red herring, and then
that just kind of takes all the weight off of Kate's mom. Like, it just seems like she's like innocent in this scenario because she was just paying off debt.
Yeah,
I feel like there's more to her character than just that.
Yeah, she was like, "Oh, I don't know what to do," and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where else to turn, and X, Y, and Z. And it's like, well, I mean, there could have been other ways. I mean, you were rich. Like, you could have made some investments.
I guess if their end goal was just to get Kingpin introduced back into the MCU, then they did a good job of that. But I feel like Eleanor definitely could have been a more notorious, like,
sinister
bad type of character.
Yeah, because there was a villain in this show, but I mean, obviously it being Kingpin. But you think it's Yelena as well, but then everything with her and Clint happens. But I really do want to touch on I really enjoy seeing Hailee Steinfeld and Florence Pugh just on screen together, and like the entire like hallway fight where they're kind of doing like the Ferris Bueller's Day Off type thing that they did in Spider-Man Homecoming, where they're kind of like fighting through the hallway, and it's so funny because you can tell how much they like each other, like how much they want to be friends.
Yeah, and at the end, she's like, "Why do you have to be so likable?" And then Yelena's like, "I don't know. It's just me."
The elevator scene killed me. That was the best.
Whenever those two are on screen together, all I think about is the Squidward meme of the Future episode.
Yeah,
the future. That's all I can think of. Because it's right there. The future is right there.
It literally feels like a SpongeBob and Squidward type moment, because with Kate being the annoying person trying to get in Yelena, which would be Squidward's way. And, when they're on the elevator together, it's like, oh, Clint's going up to the 15th floor. Cool. And then Kate tries to, subvert and like, oh, like let's go to different floor. Snaps her hand. No. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I'm like, from that moment on, I'm like, this is amazing. She like sneaks her way in.
Smack in the face. She's like, why did you do that?
It's like their best.
I love her accent. I've heard a lot of complaints about the accent. It's like,
no, it's
part of her character. It's so entertaining because she's so. It just adds like a level of humor to her character because she's just so good at it.
Which is weird because like it'd be weird if people are complaining about it now and they weren't complaining about it during Black Widow, because it's like, why? I don't know. I think I can't say it's authentic because I am not a Russian spy.
It's very entertaining,
but it is
at
very
the least.
Yeah. It really is. It is very entertaining, and I mean, you can understand what she's saying. And I mean, I don't know. People are weird, dude. It's the strangest thing ever. But speaking of Yelena, everything that we've talked about with like their between Kate and Kate and Yelena, and then we finally have the confrontation between Clint and Yelena.
Yeah, I think this was the strongest part of the finale for me. Definitely. Mm-hmm. Almost got some tears forming. Not quite there, but it was definitely an emotional moment because obviously they're fighting it out. Clint's trying to bargain with her and just trying to reason with her about what actually happened with Natasha.
Natalia.
And close enough. But she's just not accepting it because she just misses her sister that much that she's just blinded by it. And after a few minutes of fighting, it takes a special whistle to get to her, and then she finally understands that it was a sacrifice.
Yeah, and like you said, when Yelena's just in this big denial because as they say in WandaVision, everyone's going through group therapy in Marvel shows right now. What is love but not grief persevering? No, what is grief but not love persevering? That's what it was. And like you can see it on Yelena's face. I think Florence Pugh does a great job of portraying that. It's not that it's not even just the words. It's we've seen this from Black Widow, and I think this is where Black Widow, the film, really pays off, because you kind of see it's not that Yelena threw like a temper tantrum, but it's like you said, it's kind of like a childish denial, because when we see her in Black Widow, during the table scene, and everyone's saying, oh, like we were playing family for like, what was it, 2 years or something like that, but Yelena was so young that to her, I mean, that was her family. She was like 5, maybe 8 years old, maybe 6, and from her eyes, this was her family. She didn't really know anything else that was going on, more of the the real world aspects. And it shows in Black Widow, the film, where she's like, oh, like it was real to me. And it comes up again here in Hawkeye, where how she says, she's like, I miss my sister. And that, to this day,
and then Clint says, I missed her too. And I love the connection they make there. And
yeah,
that's great stuff.
Yeah.
And then that's after the great trick arrow scene we get. I mean, give me all the trick arrows. They're so entertaining.
A little montage they were making. She's like labeling them. Kate.
Yeah.
Kate's like, okay, we got this thing. We got the ice arrow. We got the fire arrow. We got the Pim Taker over here. So it was cool to kind of finally see their their full gear and costume and whatnot. But honestly, I really, the more we're talking about it, I do enjoy it a little bit more. This is something I would definitely go back and watch during the holiday season, because it is just one of those nice little things. Now that all 6 episodes are out, you can kind of like blow through it, rewatch it, and see how it works, as essentially kind of like, I guess you could say, a movie-esque in a way, because I mean, a lot of these shows really do play out that way. So it's very interesting to see. Like, I want to go back and rewatch WandaVision, Loki, things like that. Hopefully, I'll have a little bit of time during my break, but there's never enough time in the day, man. It sucks.
Yeah.
I wish we could have like 36-hour days.
I wish time flew as much as Jack's prison sentence did.
Dude,
He was out of there.
Oh yeah. Jack's just kind of like a
Lickety-split.
good guy. Yeah.
I feel like there's a couple of payoffs that didn't really land for me. Jack's one of them, because he just kind of shows up like I'm out of jail now and I have a sword. And he helps him out a little bit, but doesn't do much in the end. I guess they're setting him up to be more of a good guy. And then also the LARPers, they had their moment. Didn't really work for me. Like, it felt like, I mean, yeah, they got dressed up to escort people out, I guess.
It was their confidence they needed. They say, we got to break out the big guns. They're like, are you sure it's time? I'm like, what are they going to do? I'm like, oh, they're just dressing up and they're LARPing. But then I bet you, like, if we ever get a season 2 of Hawkeye, I want to see Jack be like the guild leader of this LARPing like world. Because that
the LARP Avengers.
Yeah, the LARP Avenger. He's like LARPing. What is that? Some kind of leisure activity? I'm like,
live Avenger role play.
He called it a leisure activity. I was like, what is this man talking about? He's so like, it's not that he's pretentious, it's that like, well, I guess you could say he is a little bit, but it's that he's so high society. He doesn't say, oh, like, what, you just do that for fun? Like, no, he calls it a leisure activity. I'm like, wow, your vocabulary is beyond anything we could have ever imagined. But was there anything else you wanted to bring up really quick before we close out of here? Coming up on time here, so definitely wanted to just get our quick thoughts and move on out.
Yeah, we see Kate arrest Eleanor at the end, which is definitely an interesting dynamic. Don't love how they painted Eleanor to be somewhat innocent in this whole scenario. There might be more to that story, but if there isn't, then that's just feels kind of lame. And then the fight with Kingpin was definitely cool. More trick arrows, and she used her coin flip technique to.
That was nice. A nice little callback for that. Yeah.
Yeah. It was kind of a quick one, but yeah, we'll see. We'll get Echo after this. We might have season 2 of this. Who knows? But obviously, we got Kate, we got Yelena, we got Kingpin, we got Echo. Don't know what Clint's gonna do. Oh yeah, can't forget we got a Mockingbird.
Yeah.
Confirmed. She might not be the Mockingbird of Agents of Shield, but she was a Mockingbird at one point.
Yeah. We find out who the watch belonged to. So
I have a feeling, I don't really know the timelines that well, but obviously there was a Mockingbird in the Agents of Shield TV show.
mm-hmm.
Maybe she is a past one before her. Maybe that's how they'll work it in.
Yeah, I never watched the show, but to cap it off, we got the nice little Christmas scene, together, and Kate's there, and I really like how they kind of closed it out, where she's like, "Hey, like I'm trying to figure out my own name," and he's like, "Oh, I have an idea," and then it just closes out to Hawkeye. So I think she'll definitely be just Hawkeye going forward, which I think is totally fine. It makes the most sense, and it's less confusing, even though they are both called Hawkeye. But like, I don't think you need to differentiate like she's a Lady Hawk. But,
yeah, I think Clint's definitely gonna hang it up.
Yeah, for sure. He wants to spend time with his family. But yeah, one of your predictions was you thought he was gonna die. I was like,
not quite.
Well, a little bit on the inside, but
yeah,
yeah.
His Hawkeye name died.
His Hawkeye
was
name
reincarnated.
Yep, into the Hawk Phoenix, the Hawkix. I don't know. Terrible.
By the way, are we getting Avengers Broadway tickets anytime soon?
I hope so, because
they actually did a full scene of it.
Yes, they did.
That was crazy.
It's so catchy.
I wonder how much they actually filmed.
Oh, they had to film hours upon hours just for that, because people kept talking about like, yo, like I would go watch that. I'm like,
it looks very entertaining. I still don't know why Ant-Man is there, but
I don't know. Yeah, they're like, that guy Ant-Man wasn't there. It's like, I don't know. They kind of just lump them all together, to be completely honest. Maybe they assumed that he was. It was just,
maybe Hank Pym was helping out somewhere, but we just couldn't see him.
Maybe so. But where would this really quick? Where would this ranking your not Hawkeye, but Marvel cinematic TV shows like rank? Like, where would you put this?
I'd say it's a pretty safe third right now.
Mm-hmm.
Loki, WandaVision, this pretty safely. I mean, it's definitely kind of close between this and WandaVision, but this one played it definitely more safe than WandaVision. Yeah, more of a grounded, safer story. But yeah, those are definitely my three for now.
Yeah, for me, out of all of them, WandaVision number one, Loki, then Hawkeye, then What If, and then Falcon and Winter Soldier to cap it all off. So yeah, pretty much there. So what would you give? What would be your rating of Hawkeye episode 6?
Of episode 6, I would say about an 80. Yeah, got the job done.
I think I'm pretty much right there with you, man. It was good, not like amazing, but we got some great new characters, and Kate Bishop is officially in the MCU as Hailee Steinfeld, so congratulations to her. And we get more fleshed out with Kingpin, and just honestly a little bit more backstory with Hawkeye, which is I think what we really needed. So
yeah, definitely
one of the most underrated hero or Avengers out there. So yeah, that pretty much caps it off there. So ladies and gentlemen, like I said, that caps off, I should say, our coverage of Hawkeye here on Film Optix. So man, it's been a nice little wild ride. We're almost towards the end of the year. We got a few more goodies for you. If you haven't been following along with our Matrix franchise review, we have the original trilogy that is up on the podcast right now for everyone to enjoy. And if you enjoy more things like that, we also have our Harry Potter movie series review that is up on the podcast as well for people to check out if you're a big Potterhead like me. And man, what's coming up? We got Matrix 4, Matrix Resurrections. You watched that today. I'm watching that. I gotta watch that later today. I'm definitely watching it at home. I kept watching and like reading people's reviews, and I'm like, it sounds like a good time, but it sounds like a good time at home, not in the theater. So definitely gonna watch that. And so we have our Matrix 4 review dropping. That'll probably drop after the holidays for everyone. And we also have our Don't Look Up review that is going to be dropping on Netflix December 24th, aka Christmas Eve. So those are going to be our last two episodes of the year before, like I said, we're taking a 2-week break of the podcast, kind of just getting our stuff together, moving the podcast over to a new platform. For everyone out there listening, requires nothing on your side. It's more so on the back end for us, so we can get more content and content tools to better, just make the podcast the best that it can be for all you wonderful listeners out there. And yeah, that pretty much concludes it. So definitely keep a lookout for our Matrix Resurrections review. That'll be probably dropping sometime next week, possibly the 27th. And then we have our Don't Look Up review that'll also be dropping maybe sometime next week as well. Just kind of cap those two off. And again, we know a lot of people aren't able to spend the holidays with their friends and family, especially their family. Just hang in there. And we hope everyone has a safe, wonderful, happy holiday and a wonderful, wonderful Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year that will be coming up as well. So, whew. We're almost here, Devin. It's been a long journey. But again, if you have been craving for some Spider-Man action, check out our non-spoiler and our spoiler review that is up on the podcast right now. And check out my written review that I did over at InSessionFilm.com. So definitely check out that stuff. Let's get on here because I've been talking way too much and we are way over time. So, and that is a wrap for today, everyone. Thank you all for listening. And if you enjoy the show, leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram to stay in the know. That was Devin. My name is Christian, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.